I would be remiss if I did not directly address some of the news that we saw come out just a few hours ago, which is that the president of this country, Donald Trump, has been coordinating with Andrew Cuomo in direct conversation with the former governor. It is Trump billionaires who have been opposing our campaign's vision for a city that New Yorkers can afford.
Yesterday, Zohran Mamdani addressed a recent report in the New York Times that stated that President Donald Trump could get involved in the New York mayoral race, or in fact, to a certain extent, has already gotten involved, and he clearly has a dog in that fight. We're gonna give you all the details of Trump's apparent conversation with Cuomo, but first, Cenk, what was your reaction to this? Did you see this one coming?
Yeah, I don't know why he's underselling his endorsement by 50 Cent, who was in that press conference with him. Okay. I don't know if that joke is allowed, but I just made it anyway. Okay, okay, seriously, guys, we're asking you a question on tyt.com, place where all the cool kids are. Will Trump's involvement in the New York City mayoral race make it more or less likely for Zohran to win? I have a very strong opinion on that, which I'll share with you in a minute. But this goes to prove exactly the point I was making, John, on my Jubilee Surrounded episode. Democrats and Republicans, they're classic, establishment politicians. And yes, I hate to break your heart, but Trump is now a classic establishment Republican politician, are birds of a feather. All of a sudden, when economic interests are involved and donor interests are involved, they magically agree. Cuomo and Trump, who've been fake fighting for all these years, are now smooching over how much they're like, oh, Mamdani's gonna raise taxes on our donors and doesn't even bow down to Israel. We have to defeat him. Oh, look at that. They totally agree.
Yeah. It could be that. It could be that Cuomo maybe has some secret legal issue that he knows the Trump DOJ would use against him, just like Adams. We don't know for sure. But what we do know is this report for the New York Times. They had 8 anonymous sources, which, look, I'm glad that they're double and triple checking, but once you get to like 5, that's good. You don't need any more sources. You've been ethical. In any event, they spoke to a number of people who said that in recent weeks, Trump has been quizzing Republican congressmen and New York businessmen about who can take down Mamdani. And apparently, in recent weeks, Trump has spoken about the race directly with Cuomo. Apparently, also, donors and allies of both Adams and Cuomo have pined for weeks for the president to intervene, arguing that Trump, a lifelong New Yorker with strong views about how the city should be run, could play a role in consolidating the anti-Mamdani vote behind a single opponent. And yes, Trump did live in New York for many years. He's also badmouthed it really viciously for the past few years, but still their loyalties lie along class lines rather than like NYC pride lines. Trump has denied this story. He was asked in the Oval Office if he'd spoken with Cuomo. He said, I haven't. No, I haven't. But the issue with that is that he is the biggest liar in American political history. So it doesn't mean anything that he said that he didn't. He also said he hadn't approved Tulsi Gabbard's attempted hit job on Obama and the Russia story, but he did give the okay for that. So not a lot of credit can be given to what he says. Cuomo's team, on the other hand, like half denied the story. So in a statement, a spokesman for Cuomo said that Cuomo and Trump have not spoken in a while, but did not clarify what a while meant. As far as I know, they have not discussed the race, okay? And since that story came out, Cuomo has taken to Twitter to attack Donald Trump, to give the facade of independence from our dear leader, and at the same time has argued that it's Mamdani who won't stand up to Donald Trump. He tweeted, Donald Trump would go through the no-show assemblyman like a hot knife through butter. And I'm learning that when Andrew Cuomo has come up with a line or a phrase that he thinks is good, he will run it into the GD ground, because I found tweet after tweet with no-show assemblymen over and over and over. And then on the knife through butter, he later tweeted, as usual, you're short on facts and long on nonsense, talking about Mamdani, and said, while I'm here, let's be real. Donald Trump would go through you like a hot knife through butter. You would be a dream come true to the Republican Party. But I think that that's sort of undercut, Cenk, if the head of the Republican Party is desperately trying to figure out how to get you to win. What do you think?
Yeah. oh, Donald Trump's gonna go through you like a hot knife through butter. Well, for me, I don't have to worry about that because we're best friends. I don't think that that's the win you think it is, okay? So look, there's a important warning I'm gonna give you guys on what I think they're gonna do and why, like, don't get too cocky. They could still pull this out in 100 different ways, okay? But this idea that Trump is gonna help Cuomo is, I mean, honestly, idiotic. There's only one saving grace, and I don't know that they actually talked about what I'm gonna suggest in a second. Okay, but otherwise, it's an albatross around his neck. Eric Adams got a pardon from Donald Trump, and his polling fell down to 6%. They're not in, I don't know if they know this, they're not running for the mayor of Tuscaloosa. They're running for the mayor of New York City. It's one of the most liberal, progressive cities in the country. Oh yeah, I got this on lockdown. I'll get Trump's endorsement and that'll help me win Vermont. What? No one. Oh yeah, San Francisco loves Trump. Like what? Do they not know any politics? That's so weird and insane, right? And it's not like it's around the edges where you're like, well, actually Bernie could help you in West Virginia. No, it's like campaigning with Hillary Clinton in West Virginia. Like it makes no sense. So yeah. I know what they're doing. So now that being public about it will never work. The middle ground is, oh no, we are not coordinating at all. Send me your donors. Oh yeah, the donor money's coming, right? And that's why Cuomo's calling him, mainly for, hey, my corrupt Democratic donors aren't enough. I need an army of donors. Can you send in the cavalry of corrupt Republican donors? And Trump's like, on it. And he's like, oh, by the way, did you pleasure Netanyahu today? Of course I did. How dare you? Of course, I pleasured him before you did. Okay, so that's the conversation that apparently happened. Maybe over dramatizing a little bit there. Okay, had trouble spitting that one out. Okay, so that's what Cuomo said after talking to Netanyahu. Anyways, let alone Trump. Okay, so but the part where I go, at some point, sometimes I get a little bit afraid to say these things out loud for fear of giving them an idea, but they're gonna figure it out eventually. They're gonna offer Eric Adams a very lucrative private job in the private sector. Wall Street is all of a sudden going to decide that he has a lot of financial expertise. And in a cushy, beautiful, giant office, which ironically he'll never have to go to, right? And so he's gonna find his way out of the race when one of the donors figures out giving him a couple of $1 million for a couple of years is gonna do the job, right? So that's how they'll spend some of the donor money, and then Cuomo will pick up Adams' vote. I thought they might do the same thing, John, with Curtis Sliwa, but Sliwa looks like he's kind of dug in. He's the Republican goofball, the guardian angel guy. I mean, look, I ran for president when I wasn't born in this country, but I think that has a better chance of winning than a guy wearing a beret for any office in the country.
That's entirely possible. Look, in terms of the polling, if they get Eric Adams to drop out, and if all of Eric Adams' vote goes to Cuomo, which I imagine the vast majority would, perhaps not all. I don't know how that shakes out in the overall voting. Right now, Mamdani still has a big lead. But one interesting little tidbit that we can end on is all of them, including Cuomo, are constantly trying to make the case that Mamdani is anti-Semitic. Many Democrats are trying to make that case, and their argument seems to be, I mean, look at him. He's gotta be. And it doesn't seem to be working, thankfully. There was a recent poll that showed that 43% of Jewish voters in the city would vote for Mamdani, including 67% of Jewish voters between 18 and 44. Interestingly, Cuomo got 26%, Eric Adams 15%. So even if you combined their vote, they don't match him in terms of specifically the New York City Jewish vote, despite months now of just constant, he's an anti-Semite, he's an anti-Semite, he's an anti-Semite.
Yeah, so look, last two things about that. As you're gonna see later in the program, Alan Dershowitz is losing it over a pierogi again. And he starts accusing everyone of anti-Semitism. And one person's like, I'm Jewish. The other person's like, I'm Jewish and my grandparents died in the Holocaust. He's like, doesn't matter, anti-Semite, anti-Semite. You don't need, like, the American press and the people in power in America don't need a reason to call you an anti-Semite. They'll do it anyway. They'll be like, oh, what are you having for lunch? Bologna? Anti-Semite, right? So why not have hummus? Whatever, they'll find a reason. You had it with your hands. Okay, so last thing that I found amusing is Andrew Cuomo's people that John referred to with their non-denial denial. They said Cuomo and Trump have not spoken in a while. Okay, but they didn't clarify what a while is. And they said, and the same spokesman said, as far as I know, they have not discussed the race. Yeah, they definitely talked. They definitely talked about the race.
Yeah. Now, what you'll know when Elon Musk starts doing a $1 million a day registration drive for Cuomo or whatever, and I'm sure we'll see that soon.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.